You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Black and White Sports fans, let's talk about Enes Freedom of the Boston Celtics yet again. We have mentioned many times that he is on a rampage to call out the hypocrisy of the Marxist NBA of China, LeBron James, Nike, and others that remain silent on human rights violations in China. However, guys, Enes Kanter seems to be on a crusade all alone. Or is there a little bit more to this than what we are led to believe? Because Enes Kanter Freedom actually said something that kind of surprised me a bit. It did surprise me a little bit, and it probably really should have not surprised me. Now, we do call out the NBA. We do call out these NBA players. However, not every single NBA player thinks the same. They all don't. Okay. Now, we know that the NBA is a majority black player league. It's been like that for many decades, and it'll continue to be like that, I believe, going forward. But when it comes to Enes Kanter Freedom calling out LeBron James, it seems like he's actually doing the bidding of what some of the black NBA players want. Check this out, guys. Over here on Lakers Daily, Enes Kanter Freedom says, quote, many of the black athletes are telling him to call out LeBron James and Michael Jordan. Now, this is very interesting here, guys. So let's go ahead. Let's read this. Boston Celtics big man Enes Kanter Freedom and Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron James have made a lot of waves recently. Freedom has made it clear that he thinks of James, what he thinks of James, I should say, as it pertains to the 17-time All-Star ties to China through Nike. James has stated that he doesn't believe Freedom is worth his energy. Now, the only reason I believe that LeBron James is saying that is because if he actually gets into a back and forth with Enes, LeBron James will come out on the losing end, because LeBron James has to know about the atrocities that are being committed over there. He has to know that Nike is using cotton from slave labor. He cannot win that argument whatsoever. That is why I believe that LeBron is telling Enes, saying, I should say, that Enes is not worth his energy. That is the reason why LeBron James knows that is a losing argument. But it goes on. It says, in a recent development, Freedom revealed that many of the black athletes in the league are telling him to call out the hypocrisies of James and Michael Jordan. Quote, whenever I talk about it, was never about black or white athletes or red or purple athletes, Freedom said. It was never about a color. I even had a conversation with many of my teammates, and a thing people don't understand is that many of the black athletes in the league are telling me to call out these people and those people. Not many people know that. They are the ones telling me to call out the hypocrisies of LeBron James and the hypocrisies of Michael Jordan, but they are the ones actually sending me talking points about you. Can't say this, you can't say that, close quote. This is interesting right here, folks, because Enes Kanter Freedom, according to him anyway, is saying that he is just doing the bidding of other NBA players, namely black athletes on his own team. They're the ones out there saying, man, you're on this crusade here. Call out LeBron James, call out Michael Jordan. And the reason why we're really focusing on LeBron James is because he wants to be the social justice warrior here. Now, Michael Jordan, he's never really been the one to pit sides when it comes to this social justice stuff. When he was a player, you know, his old saying was, hey, Republicans buy sneakers too. He didn't want to get into politics. Now, LeBron James does want to get into politics, but he needs to be in his safe space to actually feel comfortable. That's why he won't get into a back and forth with Enes Kanter Freedom, because he will lose that argument. No doubt about it. Now, Enes Kanter Freedom He has been calling out China a whole lot. But folks, he has turned his interest now to the communist regime in Venezuela. Now, this tweet came out on December 7th. It's December 11th now. I didn't know about this here. But I was actually watching a YouTube video, and he was on with Fox News, and they brought up that he was going after the communist regime in Venezuela. But he tweeted this out. I'm here to raise the voices of millions against a dictatorship that made 6 million plus people flee Venezuela. 6 million plus people who are now looking for a chance to survive outside their country and dreaming of returning home to hug their loved ones. We need to help. #save Venezuela. And you can see here, guys, he made some shoes similar to the ones, of Free Tibet. This one here says, save democracy, save Venezuela. I believe that says dictator right there. One that says migrants right there. But once again, no NBA player is going to help him. And I believe, some of these NBA players are probably just, they don't have much of a big name. And Enes has definitely made himself out to be a real champion for social justice. He actually says that he supports the BLM movement, but he's not being a hypocrite. He's going after every single regime that has a lot of human rights violations, and that includes Venezuela as well as China. Now, when it comes to the Martins NBA of China, it is about calling out the United States for a bunch of stuff. They just make up lies. They are pro-criminal, and that's what the NBA is. When it comes to China, when they're committing mass atrocities, they say nothing. Only Enes Kanter Freedom is consistent. And apparently, other NBA players look at him and say, you know what? Call out LeBron James. Call out Michael Jordan. These people are hypocrites. And Enes Kanter Freedom, he's basically saying he is doing the work of certain NBA players. We didn't get any names, of course, but he did mention his teammates. Not every NBA player thinks the same, but the power in the NBA lies with players like LeBron James, the biggest name in the game. And of course, Adam Silver, another puppet of Nike and of communist China. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.